morning, Tennessee Valley. So great to have you back with us again on this Friday morning. Hard to believe another week's gone by, isn't it, James?
Almost another month gone by.
Yes, that's for sure. That's for sure. We wanted to go first thing this morning, right into our first guest. We've got Tracy O'Connell here from 5 Points Museum. We're so glad to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Brought her little case of goodies, and we're going to talk about those
my little
after
Santa
bed.
bag.
Yes.
My little Santa bag.
We're getting ready for the holidays, aren't we?
Yes.
Gearing up.
Yes.
So, Tracy, tell us a little bit. You've got a festival coming up.
Yes, we do.
And let's talk about that.
Okay. Our museum store is actually more like a gallery. So a couple of years ago, we started getting all the artists together and having art festivals. We do 2 a year. We have our Holiday Arts Festival, which is now the 5 Points Holly Jolly Arts Festival. It's been expanded to 3 days. Our sponsor this Christmas is Larry Hill Ford, and it is November 30th. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's my little poster there says November 30th is the Friday evening preview party, and then the festival itself is all day Saturday and all day Sunday. So it's quite an event to get all those artists and so much beautiful art in one big room. Fun, the artists share, you get to know the artists. The art kind of comes alive when you meet the artists and they're talking about their art. So it's a great opportunity to get some Christmas shopping done. It's a great opportunity to help the museum. It's a big fundraiser for the museum every year. We keep a percentage of everything that's sold. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it's just coming up. It'll be 2 weeks from today.
Yes, okay. And you know, buying a gift like this, you would meet the artist, so you know, you'd have a little something to talk about when the person you're giving the gift.
Yes.
I think that'd make it a little more special.
Yes, it does. In fact, every gift that we sell in the museum, we send a bio of the artist with the gift. We roll it up in a little scroll and put it in the bag. So you'll have something to know about the artist if it happens to be a gift for yourself. Or if it's a gift for someone else, then they can read about the artist. And it makes it just more of a story. It's more personal and makes the gift or the piece of art that much more special.
Now, these are all local artists?
We sell for artists within 250 miles.
Okay.
So we're regional.
Okay.
But almost everything I've brought today, most everything is, no, I was going to say most everything here is not. This is a Nancy Zierenberg necklace, and this sweet little bag, which you'll definitely want for the holidays, go into all your little soirees and doodahs. This is by a gal. This is hand knitted by a gal in Collegedale, in Ottawa, actually.
Okay.
And we have more Barbara Craftsman on the right there by the angel. That necklace is a Barbara Craftsman, and she's from Cleveland. And then the ornaments to that, I guess the viewer's right.
Yeah.
I'm turned around. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Those were hand designed actually for us by a local artist named Carla Boudreau.
Okay.
And last Christmas she said, you know, what do you think would sell good? And I said, something that you can use at Christmas and all year. So these are ornaments that can also be put in your window as a sun catcher through the year.
Yeah.
So the next necklace is a Nancy Zierenberg. The blown glass pumpkins are from David Goldhagen, and he's an artist who is from Hayesville, North Carolina, up pretty close to the John C. Campbell Folk School. And his art is in New York and London and Paris. So we're very, very lucky that he lets us sell on consignment in our store for him. And then the piece here on the my left is another piece of Nancy Zierenberg, who does some real pretty designs. Okay. The corn shuck doll. This is one of my favorite items in the store. The corn shuck dolls in our store are made by an artist named Sue Campbell, and her work has been in the Smithsonian. Okay. She was trained by very, very well-renowned corn shuck doll folk artist. But she has done a whole series of Cherokee Indians for us. And each one of her Cherokee Indians dolls has either a poem or something about that particular character. And then she came in with these a few Christmases ago, and the angels can either go on your table or on top of your tree.
Okay.
We have some small ones too that are just ornaments. So
I was going to ask about that. I mean, these artists is this ongoing for them? I mean, there's something. Is there, like you mentioned about the Cherokee Doll series?
right.
So this is something that can become collectibles to people.
Oh yes, yes.
Okay.
Her dolls are. I have one, and someday I hope to have 2 or 3. But yeah, people that buy some of Sue's, especially the Cherokee. The first one she brought in were Plains Indians because she had been trained by a gentleman who did the more Midwest type dolls. But when they were selling out, I said, why don't you research some Cherokee, because we're the last capital of the Cherokee Nation. And oh, she came in with some amazingly beautiful ones, and they've sold really well.
Wow. Now this event, is this event free?
The event is free
Okay.
all weekend. Friday night's preview party is a members only or members free event.
Okay.
It's a soiree that the Guild does, and they're putting on the glitz for this. They will be, members come for free, but you can bring guests, or if you want to come, you can come for $10. You'll just call ahead and buy your ticket. We ask you to call by Wednesday the 28th. But what we have is kind of like a big soiree with homemade soups, warm bread that's homemade by a lady here in town. She'll be bringing those. We're going to have coffees from Bond Life across the street and desserts. And then one of our artists in the store who plays the hammered dulcimer, her name is Jean Parsons, is going to be playing her hammered dulcimer. And then we have beautiful art. We're going to have some authors who have printed new books. One is an author that has actually published before, and then another gentleman is probably in his mid-80s, and he has a wonderful new book on Southern life and culture that we just added to the store. So they'll be there Friday evening for the preview party, and then again Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
But Saturday and Sunday, the market is free all
Okay.
weekend. And we also have kids make and take ornaments. We have a big education center where we have some volunteers, and our curator of education, Jennifer White, is going to be in there busy with any kids that want to come on Saturday and Sunday making Christmas ornaments to take home and hang on their trees.
Nice. So nice family event.
Now you mentioned Friday night was members only, right?
Yes.
How do you become the member? I mean, what's a member entail? How do you become a member?
Well, to be a member of the museum is one of the easiest things in the world. A friend of mine that moved home recently after being raised here, she's been here 3 or 4 years, and she said, what's so neat about our museum is that we're the cultural center of the city. And I said, that's such a great way of putting it. So membership not only gets you to all our openings for free, our preview parties for free, and you get to come to all the exhibits that we have. Our River of Time exhibit is there. You know, it's gotten a lot of awards, and it's there all year, but we also have some temporary exhibit rooms where we change and bring new exhibits and timely exhibits, cultural exhibits, art exhibits. So membership starts at $25 and goes all the way up to $10,000. Okay. So, and with each level you get more and more benefits. So a family membership's $50. You come to everything free. Classes usually that we have are discounted for members. Kids are, if you have kids, it's such a great thing to do because we have a drama camp in the spring, we have art camps in the summer, now we have Cherokee Days, Appalachian Days. It's not only cultural, but it's educational,
right.
And we like to think that we challenge the community, not just the students, but we had, you know, an Appalachian exhibit this summer, and it was all about moonshiners and snake handlers, and And it was fun to learn that that's the history that started right here. It's, you know, snake handling began, believe it or not, in Bradley County. And so that's our history, you know.
Right.
And so
Maybe that'd be one way to mix those two classes. You get everybody drunk on moonshine and talk them into handling the snakes.
That's probably how it started.
oh, it could have been. That's great. That's funny.
I don't think I could be that out of to even touch a snake. Oh, that's
You mentioned also the kids, the classes. There were some classes. What different classes were you mentioning?
Our Missoula Drama Camp every year. This year it's supposed to be a really neat play, and it escapes me at the moment. But I remember Jennifer and Ken, our director of operations, and Jan, who is our accountant. The whole staff pitches in for every event. We've had tons of events this year, trying to really raise some money and do some good things for the museum. But the Missoula Drama Camp is wonderful. It starts on Monday, and then Saturday they have they actually do a play. So all week long they're working in production, they're learning their lines, they're, excuse me, we have some professionals that come in and actually do the set and the costuming. So the kids do the play on Saturday for their family and the community, and that's been an amazing opportunity for the kids in our community, and fun for us as a community to watch,
Right.
to see how they come together just in a week and put on a wonderful production. Usually they're amazing. We have art camp in the summer, and we have some for middle schoolers and elementary students, and then we have a high school one as well. Okay. And we usually, at the end of the camp, we have an art show in the lobby. So what they've made during the week is out and presented for.
So they become your artist.
Yeah,
for that time.
that's really neat.
Yeah.
And they write their artist statement. That's been fun too, because we have several friends that have been coming every summer to this art camp, and to watch their art evolve has been, you know, really quite neat.
Right.
Now, we talk about the festival, and I know you have other things go out. I know you had the brouhaha
Yes.
and a couple of other things. How would somebody
Yeah.
find out about, you know, where
Log
can
on
they
to
go
museumcenter.org, and you don't have to be a member to get our newsletter,
Right.
our e-newsletter. Just log on, and it says newsletter, and you click on and you follow a prompt, and you'll start getting our weekly newsletters, which are wonderful. Jennifer White also does those, and they're pictures, and they're, you know, they're quick and to the point, but it's not like just reading, you know, paragraphs. It's wonderful updates of what's coming up. So
So a great
we'll
way to stay
definitely have to
informed.
get you guys on that
Yeah.
on that chain as well. Yeah. And being a member is, you know, we send out 2 to 3, sometimes 4 real newsletters a year that are mailed to you. And of course, we have the invitation for this that we're about to mail. We had a big Holidays at 5 Points fundraiser auction 2 weeks ago, and it was huge. And so when you're a member, you get invitations to all of these things. Our big gala every year is quite the hoo-ha, and that's lots of fun. It's always a different theme, and we have the Grape Escape is coming up. That's a big fundraiser at Cafe Roma, which is wonderful food and paired with wines, wine tastings, and that's a fun fundraiser. And then if I could just talk about the exhibit coming up, our annual quilt show is from January to March every year, and we have 120 beautiful quilts. They're not just your grandma's old patchwork quilt, and some of those are there, and they're stunning as well, but we have some wonderful fabric artists in the area, and some that actually come from further and further away.
Okay.
And so that's getting ready to open. That'll be the last week in January through the second week in March.
Because when I was there filming a while back, not only the quilts, don't you have the cups too? Don't you have the winner? Yes. I remember that.
Last year's Viewer's Choice winner.
Right.
That's right. Good for
Right.
you.
You have the
And they're
cups.
great stocking stuffers, by
Yes.
the way. Those little, you actually, and I have every year. Every year we have the winner of the Viewer's Choice from the quilt show on a mug. And then on the back of the mug, we have a picture. I mean, it's a picture of the quilt, so they're beautiful. You know, they're artistic. They're so lovely. It's like a gallery when you walk through there. And then on the back of it is the Opportunity quilt that we sell tickets for every year. And this year, our Opportunity quilt was last year's winner of the Small Quilt Challenge. And it's a beautiful barn, and it's a smaller one. It's probably the size of Sugarloaf and Big Frog behind us, but it's at an angle like a triangle. So that's going to be on the back of it. So the little mugs, souvenir mugs that come with the quilt show every year are collector's items. So
Right.
thank you for remembering that. Yeah, I appreciate that.
I remember the quilt hanging up, and you had it hanging up, and then you had the cups to match.
Yes, that's
I thought
right.
That was really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They've become collectors, more collectors
Well, you
items.
got to figure every year you got to go down and get another one.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And another, speaking of collectors things, Helen Burton, one of our artists, there was just a beautiful story about her new pieces in the banner a couple of days ago. She'll be bringing these polo paintings of the polo games at Bend About to the show in 2 weeks. So I want everybody to be sure and come see those.
Okay.
It's a brand new genre of art for her. She does beautiful florals and architectural, gorgeous things, and always has done stunning and had beautiful shows, but this is a whole new, and from what I understand, the families of some of the actual polo players have bought some of the originals from her, so that was exciting too.
Yeah, I bet.
So.
We're down to about a minute or so left.
Okay.
Go ahead and just give us the times for the festival, and then also your location, physical location,
Okay.
everything.
The Museum Center is at 200 Inman Street, right downtown at 5 Points, across from First Street Square and the CBC. The festival, sponsored by Larry Hill Ford, thank you, Larry, is Friday, November 30th from 5 to 8. If you're not a member, join and you can come for free or call us and we'll sell you a ticket. Saturday and Sunday are free to the world. That arts festival is going to be 10 to 6 on Saturday and 11 to 5 on Sunday. And be sure and go over to Catch on Sunday afternoon. They're going to have a Sunday brunch special. So you can go to church and go have lunch and then come shop. And there's so much going on in Main Street that weekend with the Carol in the City and the parade. So while you're out, swing through the museums, meet some wonderful artists, and help support the cultural center of the city.
Sounds good.
It does.
I say go to the museum first, then go see the parade and get
Yes,
there.
and we'll hold your bags. We'll wrap them for you, and you can come get them next week.
Well, Tracy, we appreciate you being on
Oh,
here
thanks
this
for
morning.
having me. This is
And,
fun.
we have to go by there and see all
Yes,
this.
definitely.
We're always
Please
excited
do.
when we find stuff around town. I mean,
Yes,
it's amazing. Well, folks, we do appreciate Tracy being on here this morning, and we're going to go to a commercial break and come back with our second guest here in just a few moments. So stay tuned, get a cup of coffee, and come right back.
Great local sports right here on WTNB East Tennessee Television. Keep up to date on all your Walker Valley sports news Wednesdays with the Walker Valley Sports Zone. Get a behind-the-scenes look at all the local high school area football with the pregame Thursdays at 10. And it's a Friday night tradition. Football Friday, every Friday night at 11 o'clock. Right here on WTNB East Tennessee Television.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000 bucks. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
Good morning, folks. Welcome back. We're glad you came back, and we're here this morning with Rick Cressy from Workforce Development here on Cleveland State Community College campus. Rick, glad to have you here this morning.
It's great to be here.
Good to have you. Tell us a little bit who you are, and then and a little bit about what you do.
Okay. As you said, my name is Rick Cressy. I'm the new director for Workforce Development here at Cleveland State, and I'm looking to assist young people, well, actually the workforce,
right,
to find a job. And I think it's very important that we, as a community college, also work with the employers. The employer obviously is a key component here. We need to understand exactly what the skills are that the employers are looking for, and we need to understand where there are gaps. We need to know specifically what those gaps are, so that then we can develop innovative, creative programs which are relevant and actually speak to those gaps that the employer uncovers. A part of what I do also is to develop an assessment center where we can help the employer determine what those gaps are and what are the best remedies to fill those gaps.
Right.
There's actually, the unemployment rate right now is around 8%. Some people even estimate that it's as high as 14%. And in fact, I was at a meeting today where they were telling us that for veterans, it is actually around 14%. But on the other hand, we hear that there are jobs out there. In fact, kind of an interesting statistic, the National Association for Manufacturers recently surveyed the manufacturing group and found that 82% of manufacturers today in the country cannot find qualified workers. So that's kind of a conundrum, because we know that people are out of work, but it appears that there's going to have to be an improvement in the skills, in the skill level. Our workers seem to have more knowledge than skills, and we need to balance those two out. And in fact, I was at a meeting not long ago in Chattanooga and heard Deputy Governor Ramsey say that he knew personally of 1,400 jobs in Nashville that they can't find qualified workers for. And again, this is not just locally. I don't know if any of your audience watched 60 Minutes last Sunday night, but there was they did a whole segment on a company out west that they can't find the skilled workers necessary. And that's why Cleveland State's here. That's why the community colleges play such an important key role in, again, assessing, determining what are the skill gaps, and then proposing plans and programs that will close those gaps.
And see, that's amazing, because you were saying 1,400 jobs. I mean, and I think in your article that I was reading over, you said something about there was 3 million jobs. I mean, it's like something like 8% jobs not being filled. And we know of people, even personally, I know people that have 2 jobs, sometimes 3 jobs. So for somebody to be unemployed, it's, you know, they either got to not be looking real hard, because to me, if you need a job, you know, take a job what you can for now and work yourself towards the next job. And that's what you're there for, right? Is to kind of help those people to find the skill sets, to tie employers in with the the people. Because I mean, if kids are coming, graduating from college from here and getting out there finding the degree they're going for is full, and yet there's a big gap over here. It'd be, I guess it'd be great for the college, for the student, and for the employer to be steered into that point. And I think that's what, from your article I was reading, that you was saying that.
Exactly. I mean, everybody wins when you have the community colleges working with the employers to really understand what those specific gaps are, and then let's solve the problem. And as you said, there's a large number of jobs out there, but times are changing. And I think that if you get one message that I'm trying to convey today, I think things are different today than they were a few years ago. And maybe the same skills that would land a job 5 years ago, that's not going to work anymore. And you have to have employability skills. And what do I mean by that? Employability skills is you really need to have good communication skills. You're going to have to be able to communicate. You're going to have to be able to read with comprehension. You're going to have to use some applied math. And I guess the best way that I know to describe it is, I don't know if your audience has had a chance to tour the Volkswagen car assembly plant. But if you haven't, you should do that. It's absolutely a scene right out of Star Wars. I mean, you don't need your wrench or your screwdriver at Volkswagen. This plant is driven, it's managed by computers. And so as a job applicant, I need to make sure that I have the computer skills necessary to land a job. And you won't need your oil cans or your transmission fluid cans. All these things drop out of the ceiling at a certain point in time, again, managed by computers, and they fill the engine with the fluids that it needs. So that really impacted me when I saw it, because you really begin to realize that we're not living in the same world that we were. And I don't know, again, your audience may be more parents and grandparents, but I would encourage you to make sure that your kids, your grandchildren, they're going to have postgraduate education, post-secondary education to land a job.
Right.
And just a high school diploma is probably not going to work. And actually, I was listening to a college president recently, and he was saying that it was at a junior college. He was saying that it was not uncommon for new students to come in with a bachelor's degree because they needed to increase their skills. They needed to improve their skills. We're living in a time where you really have to engage in what is called lifelong learning. I have to go back to school. I have to constantly be sharpening my skills if I want to continue in the workplace. That's just all there is to it.
Right. And I think it's important. You mentioned about the high school diploma. I mean, that's the first step, is getting the kids to stay in high school, push them through high school, and then into college. Because, I mean, I don't even know what our rate is right now for dropouts. I mean, as far as dropping out of high school. And I know a lot of kids are not finishing some colleges. I mean, some are doing it just out of I guess, 1 year, 2 year, then back out, not finishing. I mean, that's the biggest thing as parents, is to push these kids to finish. Because you talked about the applied knowledge and the different ones, the skills that we need for these jobs. But I think as an employer, because I own my own business, when I'm looking for somebody to work for me, is they almost got to be able to multitask. Not only the regular sets, the skills, but what, they may have to know about social media, your Facebook, your Twitter, different things like that. And I think that's what you're going to find out in a lot of employers. I mean, they're cutting back on some things, but at the same time, they're saying, okay, when you come in, you're going to work in the office, but I also need you to know some basic web skills, some basic, printing or design skills. I mean, because I think they're looking for, one employee to do several different jobs sometimes.
Exactly.
And I think that's a lot that's happening. You used to be able to go in one job place, but now you're filling one slot, but doing several jobs.
Exactly. And employers are demanding more and more from their employees, and as they should. And you're so right, again, just encouraging the parents and grandparents, it's critical that our kids finish school. They have to finish high school. And again, the times that we're living in, it's so important to become involved and finish some type of post-secondary degree or skill. And again, a lot of employers now, they're not so concerned about do you have a degree per se. They're looking to know about your work ethic, your work experience, and again, the skills that you have. A lot of times, that's one of the nice things about community colleges. They are usually a little smaller, a little more flexible to develop some innovative programs, maybe some night programs, even some shift programs for people working shift work. Certificates, a lot of times that's a good place to start, is maybe with a job certificate in an area, whether it's inhalation therapy or venipuncture or nurses assistants. Those are good places to start. And I hear people say, well, I'm not going to make enough money to do that. But it's like I always told my boys, look, get a ticket on the bus. If you land a job, maybe I'm not making the salary that I'd really like to ultimately make, but it gets me on the bus. And again, that bus, if you think about it, it may go stop some places I don't really enjoy. Okay, maybe I'm doing something I don't really want to do. Maybe I'm not making the money that I'd like to make. But if you stay on that bus, you will increase your experience, you will be able to network, and you will be able to build a resume. Right. And maybe at the same time, even working and going to school at the same time, kind of pay as you go.
That's kind of what I did.
Yeah.
I went to school, started a business, and raised a family, and did all that all at one time. And I know what you're saying on that. It's because going to a smaller college, I went to IU, but I went to an off branch of IU, and they were able to create. I mean, when I went there, I went for communications, and they were able to bring off the master list of IU telecommunication classes, so I could start going towards television. And so that was, I know what you're saying when you come to a smaller college. People think, oh, smaller is not always good, but I think it's better. I really do think a smaller college, because like you said, they can gear it. If they know that they're putting a workforce out needing this type of degree, or at least this type of people with these type of skills, they can make that happen. Or larger colleges, yeah, it's
a great place to start.
Now, how would somebody to get with the program, to start on program? How would they do that? I mean, what's the first step they need to get to it?
Well, I think the first step, if you want to, re-engage, maybe you're out there, maybe you currently are employed, but you want to increase your skills, I would say go to Cleveland State's website. We have developed and designed a workforce website specifically. It's clevelandstatecc.edu/OneSource. Just remember that //OneSource.
And do have those for you.
We have developed some, it's interesting, Cleveland State has several programs that really can help people looking for jobs. But it was kind of scattered around when I first came, and so this website helps to kind of bring some of that to one central place. So I encourage you to visit the website, and of course, my contact information is on the website. Feel free to give me a call, and we want to talk. We want to help you be employable.
Right. I think that's most of what everyone's looking for right now. Well, Rick, we do appreciate you being on here today, and we'll have to have you back. You've got a lot of information there, I think, and I read your article that you had sent over, and I think there's a lot more information there that people need to see, need to know, and we can't always fit it in 15 minutes, but I think we need to have you back to talk about some more.
It's an important topic.
Yes, it is. Well, folks, we do appreciate Rick being here this morning. The website was up there. Just go to that website to find out some more information and to be able to talk to Rick and others there that can help you out. We're going to be back here in just a few moments with our third guest. Stay tuned after these commercial breaks.
Great local sports right here on WTNB East Tennessee Television. Keep up to date on all your Walker Valley sports news Wednesdays with the Walker Valley Sports Zone. Get a behind-the-scenes look at all the local high school area football with the pregame Thursdays at 10. And it's a Friday night tradition. Football Friday, every Friday night at 11 o'clock, right here on WTNB East Tennessee Television.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000 bucks. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
Welcome back, folks. Certainly last guest, but not the least, She was deciding if she went first, last, middle, where she went. But we're really excited to have Karen Bowles on with us today. And Karen is with the Compassionate Friends program. And Karen, I'm going to let you talk a little bit about the program so the folks at home will know what it is that you're here to offer today.
Okay. Thank you, Stacy and James, for having me on. A topic not many folks want to discuss.
Sure.
The Compassionate Friends, and specifically the Compassionate Friends of Chattanooga, is a self-help support group for families who have lost a child due to any cause, any age child. We have parents in our group who have lost children at birth, all the way to parents who lost children who were 50 years old. And parental bereavement, grieving the death of a child, is probably one of the most difficult forms of bereavement. And other support groups typically can't relate to some of the things that go on with you as a parent when you lose a child to death. And so that's where our support group comes in. It's nonprofit. There are no fees or dues to join. There's no religious affiliation, and we basically transcend all boundaries, ethnic, age, you name it. There's no boundary at all within our group. We have people, parents ranging from their early 20s to parents who are in their 60s. We have some grandparents who are very active in our group, even without their own children coming to the group. They just felt the need to come and take part in our services. We offer all types of programs, and we have monthly meetings in Chattanooga. We're doing alternate meetings, in Cleveland and Jasper every other month, just trying to outreach into the outlying communities. And so those are some of the services. We have our programs, just some examples of things we do. We don't just always sit around and talk and cry, which that's okay, because we
Right.
do, where it's a very comfortable group to do that, even if it's been 20 years since you lost your child. But we try to do things to help people positively heal and try to find things that will help. We have done things like collage therapy workshops. Our last meeting in Chattanooga Sunday was just wonderful. We had a book artist come in, taught us how to actually create our own book to keep memories in, and we had a meeting on music, the power of healing through music, and everybody brought a song that had meant something to them since losing their child. So we do all kinds of different, program formats. We have special events during the year as well.
Okay. Now you've got a special event coming up real soon.
Right, Stacy, thanks for mentioning that. One of the most difficult times of the year for us is when those holidays start marching in. And it basically, I think for most of us, we acknowledge this on Sunday, it starts in early October because you're anticipating, you're always thinking about, well, where are we going this year? Are we going to Grandma's house? Are we going to your house? Where are we going? And who all is going to be there? Well, obviously that child is not going to physically be there. So you're kind of starting to get a little bit on edge. Do we do things the way we've always done them? So one of the things that we offer every year is a candle lighting ceremony for our parents. It's always the second Sunday. It's in conjunction with the National Compassionate Friends, which it is a national organization. We just happen to be a local chapter. Mm-hmm. And this candle lighting ceremony, we have do poetry readings or different excerpts from books. We have live music, and then we remember each child, and then we have a big time of fellowship and food after the ceremony. It's a very special night where the folks, whether they feel comfortable within their own family or friends setting outside the group or not, can celebrate their child that night and say something special that child means and how they're thinking of them and missing them during the holidays.
Now, where will this be held at?
This year's ceremony is on Sunday, December 9th at 7 p.m. It's at the Loose Cannon Gallery in Chattanooga. That is an art gallery that is in downtown Chattanooga at 1800 Rossville Avenue. And, of course, we'll give the website later, and they can get details on a little bit more details on the ceremony on the website.
Okay. Because, you were talking about, I think we've talked about this before. This program doesn't just help the parents, but there's siblings that suffer from this too.
Oh, right.
We've talked about that before, and when you told me about that, it made more sense to me because of that. It's siblings, suffer also, not just the parents.
That's right. And one of the things that we really would like to see more in our group is a more active sibling group. We'd like to actually have that kind of branch out where their siblings don't have to be involved in all of the parent meetings, but that hasn't happened yet. One reason is because most children, especially if they lose a sibling when they're between 15 and 25, that's a very, very crucial time in their life already, and they don't really want to talk about it. They, not with other people that they don't know, but yet they're really suffering. And siblings are often referred to as the forgotten mourners, because people will say, well, how are you doing? Or they'll even ask my daughter, well, how's your mom doing? Not ask her, how are you doing?
Right.
She's now an only child. She lost her best friend and her brother. But, she's really, she's done very well, but I know that she has at times felt like she's been left out of the loop because everyone's so concerned about mom and dad.
Because you were hesitant about going yourself the first meeting, was you not?
Oh, definitely.
All the way up to the ride to the truck.
Definitely, yeah. You remember that story, yes. I lost my son in a sudden traffic accident and sudden death, and that in and of itself has a totally different aspect than prolonged illness or something like that. But with me, I tried a little bit of everything. I tried some pastoral counseling initially with pastors in my church. I did grief counseling with a professional grief counselor. none of these things were really doing much for me. And you really have to find what's going to work for you. And I just happened to read a book that it was actually written by 9 moms who had all met each other through Compassionate Friends in New York. And the book was very helpful to me, and it led me actually to start researching, is there one of these groups in this area? And sure enough, there's one in Chattanooga. So, that was like in January that I figured this out. And by March, I thought, well, maybe I should try to give this a try, go to a meeting. And so my husband, very supportive, drove me to Chattanooga, and we pulled in the parking lot, and I said, I'm not going in. And he said, but we've driven, 30 miles. Don't you think you should give this a chance? And I sat there for a few minutes, and I said, no. And I think part of this was I was still very much fighting the fact that Spencer's death had even occurred. Right. I just refused. I kept wanting to fix this somehow, and it can't be fixed. And so he finally convinced me to go in, and it was the best thing I ever did, because this is a tremendous group of people. We've got people that are, 7 to 10 years out that still come back in and help others. And they can say, no, you're not crazy. Right. When you have certain thoughts, you think, am I losing my mind? And no, you're not crazy. And it's okay to cry there. It's okay to laugh there. It's okay to be silent. Right. A lot of folks find a lot of helpful information by simply listening, mm-hmm. sitting and listening. Right,
and I can see that. I mean, you do need like-minded people. I mean, it'd be hard for Stacy and I to relate to that. Mm-hmm. We haven't lost a child, but to go someplace where other people have, and you find out what you're feeling, what you're seeing, and everything, other people are going through it, that it's natural. Mm-hmm. It's natural. Somebody says, I don't understand why you can't let go. Well, it's hard to say that when you haven't been in your situation. Right. And I can see, you're very passionate about it. You've got a brochure on your lap that I know you designed. You've got another one that you're working on, so you're very passionate about it. Because you pour everything you got into it because you see the benefits of it. I can see that you see the benefits of it.
Well, I think she's a testimony to what the program can do.
Right, right. That you've
right.
Well, it's unfortunate that you have to do that, but yes,
yeah,
you know what it can do to help you.
Right, that's right. And a support group, Stacy and James, is not for everyone.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But we have wonderful resources, even for folks who do not want to attend a meeting and aren't comfortable in a group setting. You can get on our website, and you can sit right in your own home, click on all these links and resources. You can view webinars, grief-related webinars, mm-hmm. and very, very helpful information there.
Right, so you're saying even if they don't come to the meetings, there's a lot of other stuff that they can do outside the meeting.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm. So, folks, what Karen's saying is you may not feel like Karen was not ready to go to the meeting. Get on the website, check the website out, and you may start seeing that, hey, it can help me, and go to one of the meetings and go to it. And I think that's what someone needs to do is get to the website. Give us the website. We've got about a minute. We're going to go to a break, but we'll come back. So we're not. We still got some time, but give us the website.
It's kind of long. Okay, it's www.compassionatefriendschattanooga.org.
Okay. Well, folks, we're going to take a break, and we're not finished with Karen. We're going to come back with Karen because she has, I think, some very important information for the holidays concerning this. We'll be back in just a few moments, so stay tuned, and we'll wrap up. But I want you to stay tuned to hear this.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
Hello, I'm Bill Odom.
Hi, and I'm Tammy Odom.
We want to invite you to join us on Joyous Living Today for interviews, testimonies, and gospel music by special guests and Dixie Sunshine.
Right here on WTNB, Sundays at 4 p.m. and Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. You don't want to miss it.
Jesus, Jesus, the light of
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
Welcome back, folks. We're still continuing here with Karen Bowles from Compassionate Friends, and she had, so many different informative things, for someone who's lost a child or, a sibling, that we wanted to continue on with her this morning. Now, Karen, do you have any meetings coming up soon?
We do, actually. One of our alternate meetings is this Tuesday. We have meetings in Jasper and in Cleveland. The meetings in Cleveland actually take place just almost right next door at the Cleveland Bradley Business Incubator in the second floor conference room. That is this Tuesday, November the 20th at 6 p.m. Now that meeting will be specifically dedicated to discussing how we handle the holidays.
Okay, and how about the Jasper? Go ahead.
And the Jasper location is actually at the First Baptist Church in Jasper, same time, 6 p.m.
Okay.
We talked about the candle lighting. We want to make sure that folks have that information again, so that if someone was coming in later on the candle lighting, the time and everything.
Right, James. The second Sunday in December, which is December 9th at 7 p.m., we will be participating in the worldwide candle lighting to honor bereaved children. And that takes place at the Loose Cannon Gallery in downtown Chattanooga. It's at 1800 Rossville Avenue in Chattanooga. And for further information, you can always look on our website. We have a big detailed page about the candle lighting, or you can call me personally at 423-790-6023.
Okay. And you mentioned this is a nonprofit organization.
Right.
So you actually are looking for sponsored or donors.
Oh, we would love to have sponsors.
Right.
Anyone that wants to make a donation, it's a tax-deductible donation. If you have a child that you would like to remember during the holidays, this will be a great time. We include that in our monthly newsletter and on our website as well.
Okay. Well, do you have any questions?
No, she's answered so many.
Covered a lot of
we were discussing, your group is something that,
you don't want to become a member.
You don't want to become a member.
No, definitely not.
But if you're in that situation, then you want to become the member.
Right. Well, you want to know that the support is out there. I think one of the things that happened to me, I knew lots of bereaved parents. Actually, I had 2 or 3 friends who were already bereaved parents. They didn't know about the group, and I felt like I was just kind of aimlessly wandering out there looking for some help that wasn't happening. And I got it to a really very dark place in my life because nothing was working. And so when I discovered this group, I thought, well, I'll give it a try. And when I did, I felt like it's been very beneficial. Like I said earlier in the program, we don't just sit around and talk.
Right.
One of the things that we've all found that helps us more than anything is actually doing something physical, physical working through grief. And one of the things that we did in June for our dads, we sponsored, well, basically donated these birdhouse project kits, which this gentleman who's a bereaved dad has come up with this concept. He lives in Missouri, lost a child in a car accident, and found himself, he sold all of his businesses, hit the road, couldn't deal with life in general. And so he came up with this way of physically working through his grief, and it's really a tremendous thing. And you can check that out on our website as well. We have links and resources. If you don't ever attend a meeting, I suggest that you get on that website. And if you know someone who's lost a child or a grandchild or a sibling, and they're searching for help and they don't want to go to a meeting, get on those links and resources. There's a book list on there, recommended books from our members. We have a lending library actually as part of our chapter. People can come check out a book, keep it as long as they need it. You know, some may never get returned, that's okay. But those are just some of the resources that we have to offer, and you don't ever have to walk in the door the first time if you're uncomfortable with being in a group setting.
Well, I ask you, the holidays are here. What's something, I mean, just to tell the viewers that you do to help you through the holidays? I mean, what's something, a couple of little things that helps you through the holidays?
That's kind of interesting. I have to be honest, after 3 years, James, I've still not found anything that specifically helped me more than, one thing more than another. The first year was kind of a complete disaster for me because Spencer passed in August, and then we, had the holidays right after, basically. So that was, I was kind of just really in a fog. I didn't even recall whether I bought gifts for my daughter and my husband that year. That's kind of how out of it I was. But I have actually found that if you can travel or do something a little bit different, that's good.
Right.
But then other people want those traditions. They want to keep the really traditional setting that they had. The one thing that happened with me trying to do that first year was I went into a setting where we'd always gone, and nobody mentioned my son. And it was as if he had just vanished, and it was very hurtful and difficult. So I decided from then on, okay, I've got to do something different. Right. And my husband and I have started having a little family and friends gathering that we do early in the month of December to kind of, it's a cheery kind of event at our home, and something totally different we never done before. And that's helped me because I'm working and planning that and, cooking for that. And then when the actual holiday itself comes around, then I'm kind of faced with that again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, one of the other things I noticed in there is that you continue celebrating their birthdays, things like that. You honor.
Right. That's right. Every month we have a birthday table at our meetings, and parents are encouraged to bring, if you want to bring your child's favorite dessert or food. Some parents can't cook. I went through that for a long time. I couldn't cook. There's still things I will probably never cook again. It's just too painful. Right. But I do manage to make Spencer's favorite birthday cake every year in January and take it to the meeting, and a lot of folks do that. And we bring pictures, and that's like a special time to honor that one special child.
Yes, right. Definitely.
Well, we're out of time. Karen, I appreciate you being on here tonight, this morning, and it was a lot of good information about a tragedy,
Thank you.
Thing, but I think it's informative.
Thank you so much.
Folks, we're out of here. We're out of time. Tune in again next week and hear us again and see who we have on. Thank you.